So carrying it out, not a big deal. The center balance is a little bit off from what it was before. Once you start throwing headlights, the steering wheel, wiring, some of the other accoutrement on there, it throws that center balance front to back off a little bit, and it gets a little wonky, a little hard to carry every once in a while. But you saw, got it out, flipped it over, cleaned up the area around the body, and it's back in. But like I said in the previous video, this air-cooled suspension, I don't know if the towers are a little higher or what. I'm gonna show you where it hits. I'm gonna send some pictures back to the guys at Airkewld, Pete at Airkewld, show them just kind of where it hits, just so for point of reference for future Manx owners, if they do this, where it might hit. But let's show you where we have some impact points and where I'm gonna do a little more trimming. All right, guys, so first of all, look at that stance. That's absolutely killer. That front end is nice and low to the ground. You see that air-cooled beam sticking out of there. But here's where we start to have our impact points. See where I trimmed at the top of the shock tower? I still have some impact here, and I'm not all the way down on the chassis. So I've got to trim this up just a little bit more. I might do a little radius here and see if I can trim that on this side. And it looks like it's gonna hit right down there too, because on the driver's side it hits right there too. So I'm gonna trim that down just a little bit more, trim this edge just a little bit further down. And I'll just be very careful with it. I do it with a metal cutting blade on my little saw, just to get that fine edge. All right, so let's see what we get here. Let me do some trimming. All right, it's down. Yeah, there's a little bit of daylight, but you know what? Once I bolt it down, it's not gonna go anywhere, and I have a little bit of clearance there. A little bit of clearance there. I'm telling you, guys, I love my M12 Hacksaw. This guy, it's compact. I take it in the woods if I need to trim some bushes around my tree stand. But it's just it's so versatile. It's light. Throw any different blade on there. I've got this carbide metal blade, and it's like a knife through butter. This thing's got great power. So no product endorsement, nothing paid on my part, but hey, I love these Milwaukee tools. I use them for a lot of stuff. But look at this. She's down on the body. Now here's the real test fit. It looks a little drunk because my headlights aren't tight. But I'm going to test fit the hood. Let's see what that hood looks like. Test fit onto that body. You probably saw two things on that last little clip. One, I was test fitting the tank, and it doesn't quite fit in. My line lock is in the way, so I guess I'm gonna have to move that and probably redo the brake lines that go to it. And then the hood still sits a little high. Let's look at that. So where I trimmed for the suspension for the top of the shock tower, it does impact the hood. There is some material down underneath the lip of that hood. God, guys, I'm hesitant to want to cut that hood. I really don't want to, but I'm gonna have to if I want that to sit on there. I'm gonna have to ponder this a little bit before I cut anything else. The cutting into the body, that's not a big deal. I've got those pieces. I can refiberglass that back in. Cutting in the hood, that just gives me pause for some reason. And it's totally how the suspension fits up there into the shot with the shock tower. Maybe if I had a shorter shock tower, but that would have to be suspension. This is significantly shorter shock tower to not hit the body, because this body is so low, shallow to the relative to the body, to the suspension. I can't imagine that shock tower is any higher than the stock one. Let me go measure the stock one. So I measured it, and the air-cooled suspension is about 18 inches from bottom of the shock tower, right about there to the top. And then I went over and measured the stock suspension that I pulled off, and it's about 21. So I've got about 3 inches worth of suspension height that's been trimmed off of this, which in and of itself is significant. I guess, I'm gonna have to think about how to tackle this. I really did not like the look with the body lift on it. It threw the geometry all off, threw the steering geometry all off. I don't want to put the body lift on it. I want this lower look. Deep in my heart, you know, I'm sure Jay got, you know, I bought this body from you, and you're probably screaming at me right now for those holes. But like I said, it's fiberglass. It's repairable. I can fix all of it. I fix bigger holes than that in the fiberglass. I just don't know what to do next. I'm gonna have to think about this a little bit. Give me a minute to ponder.
A few moments later.
Well, it's on its own wheels, and it rolled out of the garage. Oh boy. Guys, it's been a couple months since it's been out of the garage. And last time we had it out, those wheels, they didn't clear the fenders, but look how they've tucked right under there with that air-cooled suspension. Pete and those guys, they rock. Oh, look at that thing. Charlie, do you like it? Yes, Papa. It's very cool. It's hot outside, but that car is very cool. Can't wait to go for a ride. Want to go for a ride in the car, Papa. Oh, man. I gotta hook up some wires, stuffed back to the engine. I finished up hooking up everything in the front, put the gas tank back in. I can hook up the filler neck on there, and I should put the hubcaps on. I think it would look killer with those in, then maybe set the seats in. Let's see what we can get done the rest of today. All right, guys, it's been a really long, hot day. I'm exhausted. You can probably hear it in my voice. I'm overheated, but I figured let's do some mock-up work. What do you think? I think it looks kick-ass. The seats are just kind of held in place. They're not bolted down yet. The back seat obviously isn't permanent yet. Just kind of stuck the windshield on there. I've got some fog and haze on that front windshield. Either I'll get that glass replaced or get that fixed. But look at that look. Look at the stance. Man, that thing is low. Whew. Looks pretty kick-ass to me. I gotta straighten out the steering wheel. I think it looks awesome. I think it looks great. It's really coming together. Wiring's not 100%. I still have a couple issues. I've got to reattach stuff to the column because that came loose. And I have a couple, weird anomalies that are kind of kicking into place, but nothing that's a showstopper. I want to give you guys a little comparison. I have a Chevy 2500 Duramax. Let's go level with the back of the bed. Yeah, I'm almost to the wheel well, guys. That's so low. It's only, hell, it's barely up to my hip. What do you guys think? This is a lot of progress. I still have to tuck all the wires up underneath, but I wanted to get everything in place before I wrapped everything and did everything else. But I put the steelies, or put the hubcaps on there, on the Moonies. Yeah, that's the look I've been going for. So much closer. What do you think? All right, so I'm sitting here on the ground. Man, I could use a cold drink. I'm gonna go take a nice cold shower. But sitting here, looking at the sunset. Man, we get some of the most beautiful sunsets around here. Let me show you. That's looking out across my front yard. Driveway goes up that way. Driveway's up here. We're set back a little bit from the road, kind of a flag lot back behind other people. But head down that hill. Those are backyards. There's a road over there. Beyond the road are farm fields that you can probably see the edges of. Those are all in agricultural preservation. And just beyond that, those trees, that is, it's a state park. So guys, that view will never be interrupted. Maybe a tree will come down here and there, but nothing, it won't be developed. I could sit here and watch that all night. But you guys aren't here to listen to me wax philosophically. I appreciate everything you do. I'm exhausted. I'm gonna go take a cold shower, try to cool down, get the car back in the garage. Guys, I'll see you in another week. Like, comment, subscribe, tell me what you think. Maybe I'll throw it on the trailer and take it up to Cars and Coffee. I don't know if we'll be able to this weekend. We've got baseball I've got to run to on Sunday morning. But hopefully I can get it up there soon. Guys, I'll see you soon. You take care of yourselves and take care of someone else too. All right, bye.